This is a survival strategy game where you're basically running away from the sun on the moon. Yes, it sounds a bit weird, but hear me out. You essentially control this massive spider-like walking vehicle called a Mechaplex that serves as your mobile base. And the entire game is about staying in the darkness because the sunlight literally fries everything it touches in seconds. So the game has this very cool mix of base building, resource management and making tough choices about who lives and who dies. So here is what happened. You were sent to the moon by this organization called Moonshell to oversee some new mining operation. It's pretty standard space job stuff. Then suddenly a huge solar storm hits and wipes out all electronics, both on Earth and the moon, so their communication systems get destroyed. And the sun becomes this relentless enemy that vaporizes anything in its path. You're stuck on the moon with your crew in this giant walking machine, trying to find a way back to Earth, while the sun chases you across the lunar surface. The Mechaplex itself is pretty neat. It's this huge mechanical spider that walks around, and you build your entire base on top of it using different platforms. You need to construct buildings like oxygen generators, farms for food, medical facilities, and production buildings to craft equipment. Everything requires resources that you gather by sending out little drones to scan and collect minerals from the ground. There's different types of resources like regolith, lunar dust, and creep that you need for building and survival. You also have to manage basics like oxygen, water and food. The resource collection works through this scanning system. You deploy drones that fly out and investigate deposits. Then harvester drones collect their materials. You can see everything happening in real time, which actually makes it feel pretty alive. But you can't stay in one spot forever, because the sun is constantly moving across the moon's surface. So you have to pack everything up and relocate before it catches you. Now, the crew management is a rather substantial part of the game. Your workers have stats like intelligence, technical skills and endurance. They can get injured and need medical treatment, sometimes even requiring prosthetic limbs. You can craft items to improve their abilities, and you assign them to different buildings to keep everything running. Your crew members also have opinions and belong to different factions. They react to your decisions, especially when you encounter other survivors and have to choose whether to take them in or leave them behind. Adding more people means more mouths to feed, but also more skills and sometimes new vehicles with their own platforms for building. The game does have this time pressure element where you're moving between locations on the moon, trying to reach a starport called Kernos to build a rocket and escape back to Earth. Along the way, you encounter various situations like broken equipment, combat with rogue defense systems, and also moral dilemmas about the resource allocation. The game is designed that each playthrough feels different because the events and encounters change, so you can't just memorize the best path. Now, combat exists, but it's certainly not the main focus. When you do happen to fight, you need to build weapon systems on your Mechaplex and fight enemies from a good distance. There's also this decree system where you can make rules for your crew, like extending work shifts to get more done, or giving people more time to rest. These decisions affect how your crew feels about you, and can lead to conflicts or even revolts if people get too unhappy. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.